Beijing imposes sanctions on 9 UK citizens, including 5 MPs. It comes in retaliation to the UK announcing sanctions for alleged human rights abuses against Uyghur Muslims. Here's NTD's Jane Well with the details.
Among those sanctioned by Beijing is former Conservative leader Sir Ian Duncan Smith. The Chinese regime accused him and others of what it calls maliciously spreading lies and disinformation. In reaction, he says he'll wear it as a badge of honour. It comes days after the UK, together with the US, Canada and the EU, announced sanctions on Chinese officials and a construction company over human rights abuses of Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang.
We will not be deterred from speaking up and taking action like this to hold those responsible for those human rights violations to account.
The Chinese regime sanctioned 9 individuals in the UK, politicians, scholars and human rights activists, and 4 organisations. They'll be barred from going to China and from having financial transactions with Chinese citizens and institutions. On the sanctions list is Baroness Kennedy, director of the International Bar Association's Institute of Human Rights, who we spoke to earlier.
I don't have a holiday home in China, and nor do I have interests in commercial enterprises in China. So for me personally, it will not have very real consequences. I'm basing my criticism of what is happening in this part of China on evidence, and it's my view that there are serious human rights abuses taking place, and indeed that they point towards a genocide in progress. Now, one of the things is that this is not about China or the Chinese people. This is about the Chinese government taking these steps. And so I would be doing exactly the same thing were it happening in any other country in the world. We have a duty under the Genocide Convention to protect people from genocide, and you don't wait until it's over. You have to act while you think it might be taking place.
Benedict Rogers, Vice Chair of the Conservative Party Human Rights Commission, one of the sanctioned organisations, says it's a symbolic reaction.
For me personally, this is simply a symbolic initiative, and it's really a badge of honour that I take as a recognition of my human rights work. I think the regime is reacting not because it has any credibility on its side, but because it doesn't like the truth being exposed and a light being shone on the human rights situation, and so it's lashing out in response to that.
The China Research Group, led by MPs Tom Tugendhat and Neil O'Brien, all of whom have been sanctioned, said in a statement, "It is telling that China now responds to even moderate criticism with sanctions rather than attempting to defend its actions in Hong Kong and Xinjiang." The other sanctioned peer, Lord David Alton, said, "British parliamentarians will go on speaking truth to power and truth to tyranny, using their freedoms and raising their voices on behalf of those who are denied such rights and privileges." Speaking to Times Radio, the Housing Minister, Robert Jenrick, said it's completely wrong for China to place these restrictions on members of our parliament. Boris Johnson said on Twitter that he firmly stands by those sanctioned. The Chinese embassy in the UK didn't immediately respond to our request for comment. Jane Werrell, NTD News, London.